Black Flash Sukuna did it again, delivering twist after twist as he proves again and again that he truly has been unstoppable up to this point. But at the same time, cracks are starting to appear in his armor. The truth is finally being revealed, so let's get into it. You guys know how this works. If you enjoy my JJK videos and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like and comment right now for that YouTube algorithm. And if you could do me a quick favor and subscribe to the channel, that would mean a lot. In the previous chapter, we saw how the meticulous planning of the sorcerers led to Maki's sneak attack that pierced Sukuna's heart. But, unfortunately for the sorcerers, even though the sneak attack landed, Sukuna was not taken out. Although he was injured in a critical spot, and although he can't just easily heal that injury because it is an injury to the soul and not just to the body, Sukuna is still able to function because he can use his curse technique to somehow force his heart to keep beating despite it being injured. Maki was still hoping that Sukuna couldn't keep that up while fighting her at the same time, but Sukuna claimed that he had no problem and that he could keep going. Now, you might be wondering, if Sukuna can somehow force his heart to keep beating with cursed energy even when he should be dead, then can't Gojo do the same? And how does that even work? As I always say, the Gojo cope never dies, just like Gojo. But anyway, the chapter ended with Uraume claiming that Sukuna still isn't even fighting seriously, and that he still isn't going all out. Uraume said that the sorcerers should be ashamed for not being able to present a better challenge to Sukuna. The new chapter starts off with another flashback, but a very quick one. Essentially, we see Meimei, Nanami Gojo, and Kusakabe talking about who is the strongest first grade sorcerer. Although Kusakabe dismisses it, the other three seem to think that he, Kusakabe, is in fact the strongest first grade sorcerer, aside from the special first grades from the big families. This is of course foreshadowing for what's to come in this chapter, because Kusakabe is about to be called in to join the battle. And we better hope that he is incredibly strong if he can hope to survive more than a few seconds in a fight with Sukuna. Back to the present, and the epic showdown between Maki and Sukuna is still raging intensely. Maki is dodging attacks from Sukuna, who still isn't showing any signs of slowing down despite his heart injury. As they are fighting, that building that was damaged in the previous chapter begins to fall on top of them, and Sukuna tries to use the falling rubble and the falling cars to mask his slashes and hit Maki with a surprise attack. Thankfully, Maki still manages to dodge despite the chaotic battlefield situation, and then when Sukuna uses his insane speed to sneak up on her from behind and end her for good, Ino thankfully intervenes and attacks Sukuna. This probably saved Maki's life, at least for the time being, but Ino's attack is nothing more than a momentary distraction for the King of Curses, and he cancels out Ino's attacks with his own slashes before viciously kicking Ino away from him. In the next moment, Kusakabe uses Nanami's special curse tool to attack Sukuna with the 7-3 ratio technique, and now it is clear that the sorcerers are no longer worried about moving about unnoticed by Sukuna. They are now attacking as a team and doing everything they can to weaken him as much as possible. And the heroic effort continues as Maki rejoins the battle again and attacks Sukuna. Maki believes that she has to do absolutely everything she can to end this battle right now. Sukuna has to be defeated as soon as possible. Even if Yuta isn't dead and he manages to somehow survive the injury from a few chapters ago, the longer this battle continues, the more people the sorcerers are going to lose, and the more opportunities Sukuna will have to use yet more tricks up his sleeve. In short, Maki has to give it her absolute all right here and now. The narrator informs us that Gojo, Kashimo, Higuruma, and Yuta were all able to entertain Sukuna with their incredible Jujutsu abilities. But in reality, the King of Curses is most interested in facing Maki, the one who sacrificed all Jujutsu using heavenly restriction. Sukuna is the King of Curses, the master of Jujutsu, so to him someone who has perfected their physical body by erasing all Jujutsu is a unique and interesting challenge. And so, both Maki and Sukuna are fully determined to fight each other until the bitter end. Maki kicks off a giant pillar into Sukuna, but he moves so quickly that he seems to suddenly disappear and then reappear right in front of Maki. He grabs her face as they both begin to fall off the building. Sukuna tells Maki that he is impressed with her, and that she is not like that half-assed brat, Yuji. Again, Sukuna just can't help hating on our boy Yuji. I don't know if in a previous life Yuji smashed his wife or kicked his dog or something, but Sukuna just can't help himself. But aside from being a professional Yuji hater, Sukuna is visibly excited, and he proclaims that this fight is about to determine which is more worthy, the perfectly polished Jujutsu or the perfectly polished physical body. Sukuna feels like he is in a fight with a true purpose and a true ideal for the first time. The purpose of this fight is to see what is superior, physical power in its purest form, or Jujutsu in its purest form. And so, unlike his other fights, which were always just him overpowering an inferior Jujutsu user, he feels that this fight has special meaning. Maki is the exemplar of physical perfection, the Jujutsu Kaisen equivalent of like Ultra Instinct, the ultimate non-Jujutsu power in that world. And so this is, in some ways, the ultimate challenge for Sukuna. At this point, Maki notices that Sukuna doesn't seem to be healing himself with RCT anymore, as if he is also putting all of his focus into raw physical power and going all out no matter the impact on his physical body. According to Sukuna, Jujutsu is just the skin and the meat of the warrior, but a body like Maki's is the true bone and essence, raw physical perfection. But as much as Sukuna seems to be impressed with Maki, at the end of the day she is just entertainment for him, much like all his other challengers. It isn't long before he manages to overpower her and land a black flash punch, which seems to blow her away from the battlefield and eliminate her as a threat, at least for now. At the end, poor Kusakabe finds himself as the last man standing against the absolutely terrifying King of Curses. He wonders where the others are, including Yuji, Choso, and Meimei, although he believes that Meimei definitely won't show her face in a dire situation like this. Though Kusakabe wishes that he could just retreat, he realizes that the time has come for him to actually fight Sukuna. He doesn't seem confident that he could really be the one to kill Sukuna, but he seems determined to try nonetheless, because in this moment, there isn't much more that the sorcerers can do. Sukuna seems to just eliminate every threat sent against him pretty easily, and the sorcerers are quickly running out of options. Kusakabe will do his best, but can he really make a difference after everything we've seen Sukuna do so far? And after what Uraume said at the end of the last chapter? With all due respect to our boy Kusakabe, him actually making a major difference in this fight is highly unlikely. So if that's the case, what happens next? One of two things could happen. First scenario is that all the sorcerers, including Kusakabe, are going to keep weakening Sukuna little by little while taking major L's in the process, until Sukuna's body finally begins to break down from all those injuries. We do know that Sukuna has been weakened and tired out from previous battles. He's no longer using CRT to heal himself, so maybe this means that he is slowly getting to the point where the sorcerers will be able to take him down through a stubborn team effort. But then again, we have the comments from Uraume in the last chapter which suggest that Sukuna isn't even trying yet. And if he still has a lot in reserve, then this strategy of weakening him slowly isn't gonna work because all the sorcerers will be dead by the time Sukuna is weak enough to be defeated. The second scenario is that something major will happen to change the trajectory of the fight. I'm talking big twists like the return of Gojo or Yuji's power suddenly attaining a completely different level that will allow him to actually defeat Sukuna. What do you guys think? Will Sukuna slowly be weakened and then defeated by the remaining sorcerers? Or is something major gonna happen first? A big twist like Gojo's return or Yuji attaining a totally new form? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Personally, I can't wait to see what Gege is cooking up. If you're looking for more epic JJK content to watch next, check out my full Jujutsu Kaisen playlist, link on screen and in the description. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the future, leave a quick like to let me know. And if you could take the time to subscribe to the channel, that would mean a lot. Thank you so much.